Alright guys, welcome to This Week in the NFL, the only show where we talk about what happened in the NFL this week, put a Madden spin on it, and talk about what other news is coming in Madden. Now today we're going to be talking a lot about the New England Patriots and some of the stuff surrounding them. Now, a couple of things that I didn't get to do last week when I broke down the NFL and then kind of talked about some stuff was I talked a little bit about Aaron Hernandez. I didn't talk enough about him, and I also didn't get talking a lot about Tebow. Now, one of the things that I certainly want to talk about today is the amount of just publicity surrounding the NFL right now. Aaron Hernandez has been charged with murder. He's been arrested today, and he was arrested at 8:45 this morning, charged with murder as well as 5 gun charges. And it is I think he's facing. It's talking. Man, this is ridiculous. It says less than 2 hours after Aaron Hernandez was arrested Wednesday in connection with a homicide near his home in North Attleboro, Massachusetts, the Patriots released him. And that's just part of the cutthroat business that is the NFL. You know, and one of the things New England's always been about is the absolute they do not like the media getting involved with their team. And you kind of saw this coming, the way it all unfolded, and obviously as soon as he got arrested, that was kind of it. Now, as far as his future, what the future holds for Aaron Hernandez, I'm assuming, it's probably going to be a long trial. It doesn't seem like they have enough to straight up just, head in the trial and just convict the dude right off the bat. They don't have a ton of evidence against him outside of, there was a dude found a couple miles from his home, but outside of that, they have they have some suspicions, hard evidence that it hasn't been told to us if they do or not. So obviously, it's probably going to be one of those, I'm not going to say O.J. Simpson-ish trials, but it just seems like it's going to be a trial that, is going to be a lot longer than, your average murder trials. It may be something like a Jodi Arias where it goes on for years, just because of the suspicious acts surrounding it, as well as his status in terms of how in the public eye he is. And it just shocks me that the Patriots cut him the day he got arrested. It doesn't shock me when you really think about it, but it just is like that. It just brings you to a realization that is real. So another thing I wanted to talk about today in the news today, the Cleveland Browns rookie linebacker Asar Walcott was arrested Tuesday and charged with attempted murder for punching a man outside a club in northern New Jersey. I don't know how you get attempted murder out of that, but obviously that's what's going on. It says Maurice Jones-Drew will not be charged in connection with the alleged bar fight over Memorial Day weekend, with the Jacksonville Jaguars running back was accused of punching a bouncer. So it seems like it's getting better for him. The Lions just signed Chicago Bears defensive end Israel Adonijah. We'll talk a little bit about that. And it says, as far as Dallas goes, that the contract talks between Dallas and Anthony Spencer have ended, so we'll have to take a look at that. I need to take a look at that for my personal self. But also another news, guys, Desmond Bishop from the Green Bay Packers, he has signed a contract with the Minnesota Vikings. That's kind of weird, being the rivalry and everything. So one of the things I do want to talk about is what the impact of Hernandez is going to have on New England's future season. I also want to talk about the Vikings and their signing. I definitely want to talk about some of the spots where I didn't get to finish last week in terms of Tebow and some other things. Cowboys have officially signed their center that they drafted in the first round, probably the worst pick in the draft in my opinion. Just not very smart. And then that's pretty much what's going on so far in the NFL. As far as the news stuff and then stuff we already know now, I do want to get into Aaron Hernandez murder charge first, as it's going to be the most important, or not important, but most talked about stuff that you're going to see here for a while. So let's just take a look at it. So you see, as far as physical attributes for the New England Patriots, The dude's 6'1", 245 pounds. He has an 88 speed, 89 agility, just an absolute hybrid tight end, if you will. A very good pass catching tight end with that 93 catch, 96 route running, and 93 catch in traffic. He can do it all. The only thing he doesn't do well is get off the jam, but as a tight end, you're usually not even getting pressed. So, I mean, the dude's an absolute physical stud. Him and Gronkowski together were a deadly duo, and now without him, it's going to be very different. Also, with the loss of Wes Welker, so they lose Welker, they lose Hernandez now, and I'm gonna have to pull up their depth chart here in a second. Their actual official NFL depth chart here. Let's see if I can pull it up. Seems like when I record, though, my computer runs very slowly because it takes so much power to record. And power is not something that my computer has. But anyway, let's get into this. So, the murder charge, like I said, it's a murder charge as well as 5 gun charges. I was thinking that it was only going to be for obstruction of justice because of the destroying of the tapes. So, that's interesting to me. Interesting. It says that. Let's just read you guys what it says here. He's pleading not guilty, but he's going to be held without bail. So he's in jail right now, and he'll be held there, throughout this trial. And so you probably won't see Hernandez in the NFL this year. I guarantee that. As far as ever again, you may never see him ever again. There are sources saying that if he does get acquitted and if he comes out not guilty out of this, there are several teams interested in him. I think the Raiders, the Raiders, the Packers, and I think the Vikings are all teams that were interested in signing Aaron Hernandez if this stuff all blows over. So we'll talk about that in a minute. It says that Hernandez could get life without parole if convicted. He was transported to the Bristol County House of Correction and jail in North Dartmouth, Massachusetts. He has not released a statement. It says he has 1 count of first-degree murder, 1 count of carrying a firearm without a license, 2 possession of large-capacity firearms, or 2 counts of that, and 2 counts of possession firearm without a federal identification card, or firearms identification card, excuse me. And it says that Hernandez's attorney says it's not, they don't have a strong case against him, so it does look good for him as far as him being acquitted. But there always are situations like this where it seems like he's going to get out and he's going to it's not going to be a big deal, and basically it's just kind of get over. It's one of those situations where it's more than it appears. It's more than it appears to be, and I think that's something here. It just seems like with the way the Patriots so quickly released him, and it just seems like everyone thinks he did it. As far as everyone involved, meaning the Patriots organization, the detectives obviously think he did it. They charged him with it, and the only people who are saying he didn't do it at this point, who have any validity in what they'll say, is Hernandez himself and Hernandez's lawyer. From what I've heard, it just seems like everyone thinks he did it, but I don't know. The way that the murder went down, I don't know why he would do it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But sometimes in these situations it doesn't make sense. So it says that, and the thing is though, the dude was friends with the dude that died. So I don't know, or the dude that got murdered. So I'm not really sure on that. It just is. It's a really awkward trial. I think it's, like I said, that's why I think it's gonna be such a long trial. See here, it's his attorney's name is Michael Fee, and the detective that actually, I think the detective that was behind this was, I think this dude named McCauley. And McCauley said that the crime stemmed from a night out at a Boston club called Rumor on June 14th. He said Hernandez was upset, including that Lloyd had talked to some people Hernandez had troubles with. 2 days later, on the night of June 16th, Hernandez texted 2 friends from out of state and asked them to hurry back to Massachusetts. Surveillance footage from outside Hernandez's home showed him leaving with a gun. He told someone in the house that he was upset and couldn't trust anyone anymore, the prosecutor said. So he It doesn't seem like he has motive against the dude, but it seems like he certainly was in that mindset. The three men picked up Lloyd at his home around 2:30, according to authorities. As they drove around, they discussed what happened at the nightclub, and Lloyd started getting nervous. The caller said. Lloyd texted his sister, "Did you see who I'm with?" When she asked who, Lloyd answered at 3:22, NFL. Then a minute later, "Just so you know." Within a few minutes after that, people working with the overnight shift at the industrial park reported hearing gunshots. Investigators did not specify who fired the shots and did not identify the two other people who were with Hernandez. Huh. So Hernandez was at the scene. Okay. Says that within a few minutes after that, people it says in arguing unsuccessfully for bail, Hernandez's attorney said the young athlete is unlikely to flee. He's a homeowner and lives with his fiancee and an 8-month-old baby. He also said Hernandez had never been accused of a violent crime. A man filed a lawsuit last week claiming Hernandez shot him after they argued at a strip club in February in Florida. However, no criminal charges were filed, and the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office deemed the case, which did not name Hernandez, inactive because the alleged victim refused to cooperate. This is just kind of it's some stuff I don't like in this trial, and it just seems like it's going to be one of those Ray Lewis situations where it's just going to be an obstruction of justice. Because of all the evidence they have, they don't necessarily have proof that he is actually someone who killed the dude. They have proof that he was at the scene, but they don't really have. I don't know that they necessarily even have motive, other than the fact that he left the house with a gun. But you can always. There's speculations always around that, and people could do that for different reasons. Because when you think about it, you had two other people. The two other people, either one of those guys could have fired the gunshot. Why would the dude kill a dude with an 8-month-old baby? Is something beyond me. So it just doesn't. Hernandez doesn't strike me as a crazy person. He doesn't strike me as a dude that would do stuff without thinking about it. He's always been, pretty much out of the media spotlight, in my opinion. And he's had a great group of guys around him. He played at Florida, at college with Tebow and with Urban Meyer, a great group of staff there. And then he came into the NFL and played with the Patriots. So just a lot of things that it just doesn't add up to him killing somebody. You just wouldn't think of it. So it just doesn't seem like it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem like he. I'm gonna say he didn't do it from what I know, but obviously I don't know everything. I'm just reading the reports to you guys and talking about what I feel about them. If you guys feel differently, you can express your thoughts in the comments below. It says that the Patriots said in a statement, "Words cannot express the disappointment we feel knowing that one of our players was arrested as a result of this investigation. We realize that law enforcement and investigations into this matter are ongoing. We support their efforts to respect the process. At this time, we believe this transaction is simply the right to do," and what they're talking about there is the release of Aaron Hernandez. And NFL released a statement saying that it was deeply troubling for his arrest. The involvement of an NFL player in a case of this nature is deeply troubling. The league statement said, "Patriots have released Aaron Hernandez, who will have his day in court. At the same time, we should not forget the young man who is the victim of this case and take this opportunity to extend our deepest sympathy to Odin Lloyd's family and friends." And then it goes on to talk about kind of what he did. And one of the things also, last summer the team just signed him to a 5-year, $40 million deal. It just doesn't seem like none of this adds up. So there's definitely something underlying in here. There's definitely a lot more to the case than him just going out and killing somebody. There was certainly a reason behind it, if he even did it. So it's going to be interesting to see how the trial works out. This thing is... Oh, man, this is actually mind-blowing to me. Hernandez is one of 28 NFL players arrested since this year's Super Bowl, according to a database kept by the UT of San Diego. So that's the stuff, guys. That stuff just ticks me off because, you're getting paid. Majority of them are getting paid a good amount of money, a very comfortable living. Some of them are not getting paid, the big bucks, but they're still getting paid to play a sport. And in my opinion, if you ever get paid to play a sport, you better be doing that for all. You better be working as hard as you can for that. Now, one of the things that, so there is some things back on Hernandez though. It is coming up. But anyways, for 28 players to be arrested in just shy of 5 months is absolutely mind blowing to me. It's unacceptable, and I think it goes to show some of the issues with coaches, and we're going to get into that a little later with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Oregon Ducks, because I know this is a strictly NFL, but Chip Kelly does have ties to the Oregon Ducks, and we're going to talk about that, something that happened there. But it does say here that Hernandez, during the 2010 draft, one team said it wouldn't take Hernandez under any circumstances, and he wasn't selected until New England took him in the 4th round. Afterwards, Hernandez said he had failed a drug test in college, reportedly for marijuana, and was up front with teams about it. So up front, that's something that, that's something that could be said about that, that he was willing to come forward and say that. A lot of players won't do that. Excuse me for the video footage here. But yeah, it's just, when you become a father November 6th and said he intended to change his ways. Now another one is looking up to me. I can't just, and this is Hernandez saying this. Now another one is looking up to me. I can't just be young and reckless Aaron no more. I'm going to try to do the right things. So, the effort's there, and you can see it, and the dude's never really been in trouble outside of a failed drug test in college, and, to be honest, there's millions of people that fail drug tests in college. It's a big issue, and it's not just him. So, alienating him and saying, "Oh, you failed a drug test in college, you're a murderer," that's absolutely ridiculous. And I just want to say that, the dude doesn't seem like he has ever done anything that would lead him to be a guy that you would paint a picture of doing something like that. But obviously, it can happen. So, one thing I also want to touch on real quick is, it talks about here in an article, it says the following is a list of active athletes charged with murder, homicide, and or manslaughter. And we're just going to go down the list here. Aaron Hernandez, 2013. The dude from the Browns, I can't pronounce his name. And then there's a dude, I can't pronounce it. I don't know his name. It's like running Pistorius. I don't know what his name is. He's new to the NFL. Josh Brent, we remember him. Dante Stallworth, we remember how that all went down. Danny Heatley from the NHL. Tammy Crowell from swimming. What? Dwayne Goodrich from the NFL. I'm just going to do NFL, guys. Ray Kurth, Ray Lewis, Leonard Little from the Rams, Brian Blades, Reggie Rogers, and that does it for the NFL. You have a couple of guys on this list that were certainly acquitted, and certainly charges were dropped, and then you have another group. You got two categories here, and it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with this trial. So, moving from that point of discussion, I want to talk now about the Philadelphia Eagles and some news that we just got on. Actually, no, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys real quick. Talk about this article. So, as we all know, Dallas has made a ton of improvements to their team without really saying anything about it. So that's actually a good sign. And it says that the contract talks between Dallas Cowboys and defensive end Anthony Spencer have ended, according to a source. Spencer, who was franchised at a $10.6 million, has until July 15th to work a deal with Dallas. If not, he will become a free agent when the season ends. So that's referring to next year. So he will certainly be here for the 2014 season. But with latest developments, Spencer will enter the 2013 seasons with the expectation that he will become a free agent next year. So that's, if he leaves after this year, that's going to be a huge loss because, Victor Butler is the next step down, and he's nowhere near Anthony Spencer's level. So, just kind of something I wanted to throw in there because obviously it's Dallas. I'm going to talk about Dallas a lot. So moving, I want to wipe the deal with Hernandez's deal, though. I don't want to talk about that a lot. I just wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on it early and then move away from it because that's not something that we need to be really going into a deep discussion about because it's a personal matter. I did want to talk about the... I can't remember what was I going to say about the Patriots depth chart. That's right. So I want to talk about the Patriots depth chart and what losing him means. He is for sure not going to be on the team. So if we look at this, and I'm going to do this. I think I can do this from the screen here. Let me see if I can. Can I release? Yeah, I can release. So we're just gonna release the players off the team. We're gonna take a look at this. So obviously these two are gone, and then I'm almost positive that they have they had some draft. They had some decent draft. They didn't have a first rounder though, so that's obviously I don't like that. I like to see a first round pick. But they got a couple. They got a bunch of receivers in the draft. They got I think two or three at least. These other players don't even have positions yet, so we don't know what's going on with them. Like they may be like hybrid players. They don't know where they're going to play, which is cool because that's kind of the player that Bill Belichick always likes to have. And that's one thing. I'd like to see the Patriots. I think this is one of the reasons the Patriots haven't won the Super Bowl. I'd like to see the Patriots get back to the way they played early in the Belichick reign. With their defense, I'd like to see a lot more emphasis on the defense. This no huddle crap with Brady, it's good, but it's not winning championships. It's not, and it's just not getting the job done. And whether that be Brady's fault or not, that's up to you guys to decide. But you cannot go through and have three Super Bowls where you're running more of a ball control West Coast type of offense, and then go to this super heavy pass heavy air raid type of attack and get beat twice in the Super Bowl by the Giants. It's just something I don't want to see, and the reason is because Patriots are a talented team. Brady's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and with this whole heavy pass attack, it just isn't. It's not what I want to see. It's just not. I mean, it doesn't matter what I want, but I mean, you know what I mean. Hopefully, you guys can pick up on what I'm saying here. It's just not something that I think they need to be doing if it's not winning championships. Obviously that's why I think about Dallas. I think Dallas needs to go back to running the football and establishing a run game. With DeMarco Murray, they have a phenomenal running back in him, and they need to use him to establish a run. It's actually something I was talking about in the other day about what was it? Oh wow! So the Patriots actually lost Brandon Lloyd too. So he's gone. And they added this guy. Andy Amendola. I mean, people say he's the poor man's Wes Welker. I mean, that's giving him a lot of slack. He's got a tremendous amount of heart, but he has absolutely zero. And he doesn't have anything that would make you really think he's going to be an elite receiver. But this is what they have. So basically what you're going to be looking at is you're probably going to see, who's this guy? Let's see. See if it pops up. Profile pick up here. Let me see what we got. Where does it show the wide receiver? Number 2. Michael Jenkins. Okay, so that's another receiver they got. I think he's on the Vikings. So they have this guy. So, man, they're in trouble. I don't know what they're going to do on offense. Which is good, because it's going to force them to play that ball control type of offense. So obviously, that's going to help, in my opinion, with the heavy passing attack and going back to kind of their roots. So I'm definitely interested to see what they have as far as, losing Hernandez is really going to crush their offense, in my opinion, because without Hernandez, they now have one big play. I mean, this is what you're really looking at, is you're looking at 3 receiver set with a tight end and a running back, and if that happens, these are the players you're having on the field. They're going to have Amendola, Edelman, and Jenkins. None of these players really superstars. And, I mean, obviously, Brady did the same thing with Branch and, Troy Brown and them. But those receivers were, they were veteran receivers, which, I mean, yeah, these guys are veterans. Michael Jenkins certainly is. So, I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what the Patriots offense does. I wouldn't expect much, but obviously that gives them the opportunity to overexceed. As far as running back situation goes, you're probably going to be seeing Stephen Ridley. They did get, this is actually really interesting. One of the things that the Patriots got was, I think they got rid of Woodhead. I think he's gone. It doesn't say on here. But, so you're looking at this. I know Demps is gone. At least I'm pretty sure he's gone. Hope he's gone. But what you're looking at as far as depth goes, if you take a look, they've got LeGarrette Blount coming from Tampa. This dude's a tank. And one of the most underrated running backs in the NFL. Doug Martin is such a phenom that this dude just got underrated. The dude's 6 foot 250. He's like a Brandon Jacob the Bruiser. And then you got this man coming from Seattle, in Leon Washington here, with that super pass catching ability out of the backfield to complement the extreme balance that you're going to get with Ridley and Vereen, these two players right here. So it's going to be interesting. I think the Patriots are going to be more of a run-heavy offense. Honestly, based off their personnel, I think you're going to see more of those, those quick no-huddle runs, those quick draws, stuff like that to help their offense move and, really kind of keep the defense off balance. I think that's their best bet as far as moving the ball goes. Now, one of the things I also wanted to touch on today is the Denver Broncos, as far as where they're looking at, as far as their future, as far as what they got going on with some of the offseason moves that they have made to position themselves. So let's take a look at the Broncos roster here, and I actually need to get Welker on their team though. So let me just do that real quick. I think I actually did. Oh, I put him in a free agent, so I gotta sign him. So we'll go ahead and sign free agents, and we'll try to get the Broncos here. So the Broncos added Welker. Man, I tell you what, I don't understand why nobody has this man and this man on their roster. Nick Collins is an absolute stud. I don't know why he's not on a team. I'll have to look at that more in depth later on to see, because I've wondered that all year, and I haven't been. I mean, he's injury prone, but man, that dude, when he's on the field, he can play. So we'll have to take a look at that. I mean, there may be some other underlying reason. I don't know. I haven't looked a lot into Nick Collins recently because he just hadn't been in the NFL. So we'll have to take a look and see if there's actually a legit reason why he's not, and I'm sure there is. But anyways, as far as the Denver Broncos go, the addition of, and they also had a subtraction though. They lost your boy DJ Williams, and they lost this Duberville. So some subtractions on defense. But anyways, as far as the offense goes, when you take a look at the pure potential and what they did last year, with this man coming back for his second year, this dude is a perennial Hall of Famer, probably one of the best quarterbacks of all time in terms of ratings, in terms of skill, in terms of talent. The dude is absolutely second to nobody. Work ethic, everything. The dude has it all. And then when you also take a look at the running back situation, they've got that dude from, what was his? I can't remember. I think they got rid of McGahee, though. I don't know if they got rid of him, but I know they're going to feature Marino more. I think McGahee's on his way out because they're trying to get young as far as the running back situation. They got this guy. I don't know. We'll have to see if we can find him in the NFL. Where's he at? Let's see if we can find him. It's not Lance Ball, is it? Is that who it is? Let's look at Monte. It's Monte Ball. Is that Lance Ball too? Huh. I bet that is. I bet that's what it is. I bet that's like his nickname or something. So, but they got this guy, and he was decent, above average last year. He wasn't really anything special. I would like to see him start Moreno or McGahee personally. Now let's take a look at their defense real quick, but I want to run through the receivers. You see, take a look at the talent, the pure potential here. There's something great going on in Denver, and we're just watching it. You have an absolute physical freak in Demaryius Thomas. And you have very similar of a target in Eric Decker, in the fact that dude's 6'3", big as all get out, and he can be like that dude on the outside opposite of Decker, which allows Welker now to go down into the slot position, and also you can put Stokely down there, you could put Caldwell, you could even slip in Holiday every now and then. I mean, this offense is going to be very difficult to guard next year. Let's talk about the tight end situation as well. Both tight ends are big targets and very viable options in a passing game. You got a young guy that they're trying to come up with, these two young tight ends, but these two right here certainly are going to be able to produce. Now let's take a look at their defense though, and some of the subtractions. So Derek Wolfe is going to be the starting left end this year. It's looking like you're going to have to see Their rookie, Quentin Smith, I think, is that right? I think I said his name right. Is it Quentin? Or Quantarius. Quantarius Smith is going to have to step up big in pass rushing situations to provide that push. But Derek Wolfe is a very decent, I mean, he's above average, but he's not Dumerville. That's kind of the thing here is he's not that level yet. Ayers, again, not that level. So their pass rush, it's not going to be there. I honestly think they should move Von Miller down to end and let him put his hand on the ground. But that's kind of just my opinion. So, and then defensive tackle, they've added this guy from the Jags, Terrence Knighton. This dude's actually a really good defensive tackle. They've secured up their defensive tackle position. And let me see if I can find this guy. I don't know if he was a rookie or not. Let me see if I can show you this guy's ratings because I remember him from a couple years ago. If he's on here, I don't know. He may not be on the game, but let me see what it is. Sylvester Williams. I think he is a rookie. I thought it was Sean Williams actually, but I think Sylvester Williams is a rookie. So they add depth at defensive tackle, so they get better there. But then they subtract their DNs, so they're gonna have the biggest question mark is gonna be their defensive ends. How their defensive ends can get a pass rush if they get a pass rush. If that happens, this is certainly going to be an elite team. When we take a look at their linebacking core with Wesley Woodyard, Wesley Woodyard is a very, very valuable option. And then you have Joe Mays, one of the better linebackers in the league in terms of youth, in terms of the middle linebacker position, in terms of what he has to do in their defense. A very viable option. And then of course you have by far one of the best linebackers in the game in Von Miller, if not the best linebacker in the game, right next to Patrick Willis. And then also, when you take a look at what they did with their defensive secondary, with the addition, they have Champ Bailey, they still have Chris Harris, and they still have, I don't think they have Porter. They got rid of Porter, but they still have Carter, they still have Bolden, and Butler. Carter, don't sleep on this man. This dude's got 92 speed. He can catch the football. In terms of you throw it right at him, and also if you take a look at his coverage, I believe his man coverage, yes, high 80s man coverage, 80s zone coverage, very good for a slot defensive back. And not only did they do that, they added in one of the better players, better one-on-one corners in the game, in Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. This dude is an absolute Madden gem, if not a real NFL gem. The dude is an absolute athlete. Take a look at his catching, just a big play corner overall to play opposite one of the most classy corners in all of football in Champ Bailey. So obviously the Denver Broncos had a couple of subtractions defensively. What we're hoping, all the fans are hoping, is that these young defensive ends can step up and really start coming into their role. Obviously they had to see that in them if they were going to get rid of Dumerville and DJ Williams. So kind of that's how that goes. Take a look at their free safety, a young Raheem Moore. This dude is a very good player, at least in Madden. Obviously, he cost them the maybe a Super Bowl this year with that stupid boneheaded play. But again, remember, he's been in the league 1 year, so he's young. This is going to be his third year into the league, in the NFL, so we'll be able to see him grow. And then again, their strong safety. This dude is an absolute. They're actually having him listed above Adams this year. This dude's a very good strong safety in terms of what he has to do as a strong safety. If you take a look, all a strong safety you ask is run stopping and stuff like that. This dude is an athlete and a half, 6'1", 200 pounds, tackles, hits, block sheds, everything. The only thing he doesn't do well is cover, so you can't ask him to cover. But other than that, this Denver Broncos lineup is looking very good for 2013 or for 2014. So that's what I got to say about Denver and their offseason moves. Let's take a look again at the Patriots. One other thing I wanted to talk about is Mr. Timmy Tebow from the New York Jets. What him going to the Patriots mean for the Patriots? Basically what you're going to see is Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator of the New England Patriots. Josh McDaniels, if you guys remember correctly, he was the head coach of the Denver Broncos, who actually ended up picking Tebow in the first round. And one of the things that Josh McDaniels was very adamant on was the fact that Tebow was a viable option, and he is absolutely in love with Tebow. So what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of packages for Tebow, and I think this is going back to the way that the Patriots are going to have to move the ball this year. With the lack of receiving core, they're going to need someone like a Tebow who can come in and start situations, make big plays, not just with his arm but with his legs. And I think you're going to see a lot more Tebow packages, a lot of heavy packages, running red zone offense, stuff like that. And the Patriots are always, you might see him line up at tight end. You might see him line up on defense. I mean, Tebow is a perfect piece for the Patriots, in my opinion. He personifies what a Bill Belichick type of player is, versatile, and can do a lot of things. So it's going to be interesting to see him contribute as far as the Patriots go. As far as Madden goes, if you're looking towards Madden 14, this is going to give the Patriots the Bronco heavy, and what the Bronco heavy is, just a heavy package, and one of the better packages in the game for Madden, because everybody's unbumpable. And so what you can do with this is, you can add that little wrinkle into your scheme if you're running like ace tight slots and ace and that kind of stuff. So obviously a nice addition, not just for real life but also for Madden. So that's kind of what we got with that. That's all I really wanted to touch on today. It's a shorter show than last week's. But we kind of talked a lot about Hernandez and what all that means. Talked about the kind of some offseason signings. We haven't gotten to all of them yet. I will try to do that. Next week we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bears, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Washington Redskins as far as offseason acquisitions. I'm trying to do a couple teams every week, and then that way we can cover all the teams before NFL season starts. This week in NFL will continue in the actual NFL season, so stay tuned for that, guys. Make sure to tune in every week, and we're going to be doing these every week. We'll probably be trying to upload these on Tuesdays. So hopefully, if you guys just want to watch this show, then obviously just check us out on Tuesdays. Other than that, guys, make sure to check out our other NCAA 14 and Madden NFL 25 content. I'll put some links in the annotation to some videos you may have missed. Other than that, guys, we'll see you guys next week on This Week in the NFL. Thanks for watching. See you guys.